Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be taking a first look here at this 4-game NFL DraftKings Divisional Round. Let's dive right into it. And like I always do here in these videos, I'm going to go position by position, highlighting the plays that are sticking out to me here early in the week, and then we'll wrap up this video by putting together a first look tournament lineup. I also want to mention here, I was really happy to see that DraftKings put all 4 games on the featured slate this weekend, instead of breaking them into 2 featured slates, 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday, which is what they did last year. With that being said, let's dive into the quarterback position here. Now, there's 8 quarterbacks on this slate, probably a case to be made to roster any one of these guys, especially in tournaments, but I'm going to break it down into 4 quarterbacks that are sticking out to me here on Tuesday morning, and I'm looking right at the top here with Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Those 3 just have a different ceiling score, better than most quarterbacks in the NFL, and especially on a slate like this. They're obviously very good at throwing the ball, but all 3 of these guys bring that rushing upside that we love as well. So the ceiling score with these 3, again, just different than most quarterbacks, and I want to have some exposure to that in my tournament lineups. But I also do like this game here between Washington and Detroit in general. I think Jared Goff's going to be a solid play at $6,300. He didn't play great against Minnesota in Week 18, really didn't need to because Jahmyr Gibbs just went crazy, but prior to that, 28, 28, and 44 DraftKings points, and 3 of his last 4 games heading into the playoffs, we really do like to see that. So again, 8 quarterbacks on this slate, probably a case to be made to roster any one of these guys in tournaments, but Lamar, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and Jared Goff are my top 4 plays as I do this on Tuesday morning. Now moving on to the running backs here, and I think this is kind of interesting, right? Because we look at the top with Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, and Saquon Barkley and go, yeah, we want to have exposure to them in our lineups this weekend. And I will be doing that for sure, but they're also going to be very popular if I had to guess. Again, it's Tuesday morning. I'll get some ownership projections heading into the weekend. Make sure you follow my Discord channel here. It's completely free to do. I'll be providing some leverage plays and some ownership projections on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So those 3 there, I project them to be very popular, which kind of leads me into my next bit here. I think Kyron Williams, James Cook, and Joe Mixon are going to be really good leverage plays off of those 3 there that I just talked about. I'm not saying that they're going to be super under-owned because, again, it's just an 8-game slate here, but they're going to have much lower ownership than those 3 above them. So I think those are going to be solid leverage plays. And then we're kind of looking at David Montgomery here to basically Ty Johnson. And I kind of have a few different plays here that I like better than others, but these are also going to be some interesting plays on this 8-game slate. Very affordable, which opens up some things in your lineups. But I'm kind of interested here in Austin Eckler, Kareem Hunt, and Justice Hill. Now, that's not to say that I won't play Montgomery, Pacheco, or Robinson, but those 3 there in particular kind of stick out to me due to their price and their involvement in the passing game. Not so much Kareem Hunt here, I suppose, but he could score a touchdown or 2 at the goal line. So again, it's Tuesday morning. It's a first look here. I'm going to have some deeper analysis on Friday when I post my favorite plays video. And again, my Discord channel, I'll be talking about some leverage plays. But I think a guy like Justice Hill here at $4,800 could be sneaky. Obviously, you need him to be involved in the passing game. But look, if he gets you 17.8 or 12.5 DraftKings points, or 14.2 as he did back in Week 12 there, you might be sitting all right, especially at that price. Next, we got the wide receivers here, and like I always do, I kind of break the top wide receiver plays into 2 different tiers. So tier 1 this week, in my opinion, is going to be Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Terry McLaurin. And then tier 2 is going to be Puka Nacua and A.J. Brown. Now, I don't necessarily love that game between the Rams and the Eagles. Again, it's an early look here, but that game just kind of screams it's going to be lower scoring, whereas some of these other games have some shootout potential like Detroit and Washington. But again, those are my tier 1 and tier 2 plays here. Leading into the next bit, which I think is really interesting, I'd like to see if Zay Flowers plays here this week. I didn't really put him in my notes here initially, but JMO, Devontae Smith, and Xavier Worthy, that's kind of my tier 3 plays there. Now, Cooper Kupp, I don't know what's going on with this guy. You can see 3, 3, 3, and 1 targets in his last 4 games. I don't like that at all. But I like Xavier Worthy here. His volume just got better as the season went on. 6, 11, 11, and 9 in 4 of his last 5 games. He didn't even suit up in Week 18. So that's kind of my tier 3 plays there. And even Shakir, I think we could probably put in that mix as well. Doesn't have as much touchdown upside as some of these other guys, but he really is a safety valve for Josh Allen. And then moving into this next bit of players here, which is kind of Rashad Bateman, D-Hop, Cooper, Zacchaeus, Hollywood Brown, and Keon Coleman. That's kind of my tier 4 plays there, if you will. Those are some really interesting spots, especially in the 4K range. We know some of those guys offer 20 plus DraftKings point upside and could help you win a tournament. And then my tier 5 plays here are basically from Robinson to, let's say, Curtis Samuel. I don't want to say that Juju is completely out, but kind of Robinson there to Samuel is what I was thinking initially. You know, a guy like Samuel here at $3,400 might only see 3 targets, but maybe that's all you need if he's going to get you 12 to 15 DraftKings points. So again, I'm going to be talking about some leverage plays later in the week. Make sure you tune into that. Now, when it comes to the tight ends, just like those cheaper wide receivers, there's probably a case to be made to sprinkle them in your tournament lineups, especially considering how affordable they are. I mean, Travis Kelce here at $5,000. When's the last time he was that cheap? He was $5,600 back in week 16, kind of floating in that mid 5K range, upper 6K range. It's probably the cheapest he's been all year long. I don't know why DraftKings does that. Maybe they just want people to force play Travis Kelce. I don't know. But needless to say, I'm kind of looking at Dalton Schultz to Travis Kelce here and going, okay, outside of Higbee, who's probably not going to play this week with that chest injury, I think there's a case to be made to roster any one of these guys, but my preferred plays here, if I had to pick just 2, would be Sam Laporta for starters. He just got better as the season went on as well. Sophomore season, you know, there was a little bit of a sophomore slump to start the year, but really finished strong. 10 plus DraftKings points in his last 5 games. Love the volume he was getting as well there with the targets. I also like Dallas Goedert here at $3,900. I just think that's a bit too cheap. Now, he's more of a 4 to 6 range target guy, but that's all he really needs to make something happen, especially at that price. And then if we're really looking to save some money here, I think that Dawson Knox is a bit too cheap at $2,700. You know, again, someone who might only get 3 targets in this game, but if he scores a touchdown, you're probably sitting pretty nice at that price. And then wrapping up the positional plays here with the defenses, as you all know, really this comes down to your roster construction, right? You don't want to defeat yourself here. So if I want to stack up this game between Houston and Kansas City, then no, I probably don't want to play the Chiefs and the Texans defense. So it really comes down to roster construction here for a 4-game slate. But the 2 defenses that were sticking out to me here initially were, for starters, the Philadelphia Eagles. This defense is legit. That defensive line is super talented. They got some playmakers on the back end as well, even though they're super young. And they played really good football heading into the playoffs. 7 points against Dallas, 13 against the Giants, and 10 last week against Green Bay. We do like to see that for a defense. And then kind of on the punt side of defenses here, and maybe they won't even be a pump play because they're playing such good football, is the Houston Texans here. 24 points last week against the Chargers. This is a defense that can create pressure. They got some stud defensive ends, and their secondary is pretty talented as well. Derek Stingley just seemingly gets better with each and every game. So for $2,500 there, I'm kind of hoping they fly under the radar. People are going to go, oh, they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. I kind of like the way that defense has been playing, and the Chiefs have taken a few weeks off now. They haven't even played football since week 17, so they're starters, that is, obviously. But yeah, like the Texans, like the Eagles, but really it comes down to the defense here, not defeating yourself when it comes to roster construction. Alright, now let's put together this first look tournament lineup here, but before we do that, everyone, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. It's completely free to do, and every like, comment, and sub that you guys leave truly does help me out. And I know I've mentioned this a couple of times already throughout the video, but my free Discord channel here, if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. We have over 860 people in there talking multiple sports for DFS, but primarily NFL and NHL. I'll not only be posting my favorite plays video on Thursday or Friday this week, but I'm also going to be posting some leverage plays and projected ownership in my Discord this weekend. With that being said, let's build this first look tournament lineup. Yeah, I talked about this game between the Commanders and Detroit quite a bit, so let's build a game stack around that. Let's go Jared Goff here, super affordable at $6,300. Let's stack him up there with Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta, and then run it back there with Terry McLaurin. kind of hoping that game turns into a shootout. Now, at the running back position, I'm going to do something interesting here, especially with a 4-game slate like this, right? Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. You're just hoping that Baltimore runs the shit out of the ball in this game against Buffalo. Now, wrapping it up here, let's go with a wide receiver that's a little cheaper. Let's go Hollywood Brown. I want to show you the targets here over the last 2 games, or the only 2 games that he played this year. 8 and 7. Not bad at all for a guy priced there at $4,200. So let's put him in. And then we'll wrap it up here. Let's go with a defense. Let's put in the Eagles, considering we don't have any Rams right now. And then $5,600 to wrap it up. Devontae Smith, that fits perfectly. Honestly, for a first look tournament lineup, I really like that. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that.